you're afraid of guns, just remember that even Winnie the Pooh was armed when he heard a bump in the night. Imagine getting shot by Winnie the Pooh with a double barrel. You don't have to imagine if you're in China. Remember when a Twitter account leaked the personal info of thousands of FBI employees' personal information? It looked like that. El bastardo.
Beep beep, here to bitch.
Bob is a sluta. The builder? Nintendo, we purposely made our cartridges taste horrible so nobody puts them near their mouth. I swear to freaking Christ, if you don't stop thinking the Switch games, we'll coat them with cyanide.
The letter V doesn't know any V words.
I'm fresh from the factory, I don't know anything. This sort of feels like to be training at a new job. The way I thought vagina, but I was like, oh, this is a kid's show, you can't say that. John informs Bert that he's not allowed to use that word. these. Not even 15 minutes into Disney Plus and you've got a friend in you.
I need to talk. I need to speak with an insurance agent. I just read into some boy.
Hey, take this chalky milk. Hey, where's the glass? Yeah. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Sharp Hanzo? They're not actually saying. McThor. Okay, I'm done selecting things.
No need to think not, kind stranger.
Said the mysterious Muppet as he departed. But I had my Honda Civic stolen. Whose child is this? Asked the very confused man. And, and he did say to put this one in the Lost and Found from Master of Big Bird as an equally confused woman. Okay. Hey Bird, what do you think of my new auditions for the Ragtime Gal Band? Anyway, shut up and do it upstairs. I can, but I have to concentrate with Anne Frank's drum kit. It may cost me $2,000 to kidnap Bort for ransom. Quarantine's inside when the band is closed. Anderson Cooper is reunited with his long-lost slave owner ancestor. Elmo tried to stay calm as the person behind him wore a coat made from the skins of some of his friends. My new collection will be red coat for only $20. Big Bird in Japan. Big Bird hopes he can find some big titty anime girls, but all he finds are a bunch of cities and weirded out people. Moral of the story: don't get all your knowledge of Japan from anime. Escaping really with the Necronomicon in their position and only 50 yards away from the prosthetic blessed submarine, Cthulhu snatches Bert away into the blackened abyss. Ernie better close his eyes if he opens that. Grover was really disappointed when his online date turned out to be an actual minor. You see, he said, I really hope that you'll be a camera team and whatnot. Just someone who would witness me ending it all. But well, now it's only you. I'll be ready to see some gun splattering some brain. At least she's not a pedo. Big Bird is disappointed that his cocaine had not been delivered, and the Count laughs because he's checking his sleeves. The bullet had only grazed him, but Bert knew he had to escape to safety. Ernie, on the other hand, mentions that didn't hurt as much as knowing that free Robux Generator 2014 100% working was a lie. Bert suddenly realizes that his new friend didn't say that he hated juice. Big Bird suggests they all lose their virginity together by gangbanging Kermit's dead body. Art you find at Carnival Bumper Car's walls. While waiting behind the bushes at the park for their next victim, Bert laughs as he crosses off more names from his list, knowing that they would never be seen the light of day again. Meanwhile, Ernie is wanted in 17 states on accounts of arson, vandalism, assault and battery, and loitering. They will never find the bodies. Bert, when in the three-way, you must pay attention to all your lovers. Now open that mouth plenty wider, Ernie and I. As the guests for the swinger orgy party and such start to show up, Emma ponders which sadistic frick invited the porcupine. Bert dragged his new friend into the bathroom and dropped him onto the floor in front of Ernie and Bert. Jesus frick, Bert! How... What the hell did you do? Exclaimed Ernie. Is that the kid from next door? I can barely recognize him. Where the hell is his skin? And his eyes? And his tongue? Holy crap, Bert, where you did this? Said Bert in astonishment. Bert threw the mutilated child into the bathtub and beamed at Ernie and Bert. Maybe they would stop torturing him and love him if he could show that he was just like them. Bert has learned from Ernie and Bert. Now it's time for him to show them. Excuse me. Emil keeps having to tell Hobo Frank not to use that word around DeMarcus. Not wanting to turn down a triple dog dare, Animal's scrotum becomes stuck to the flagpole for a full 5 minutes before attempting to escape. For his attempt to escape, rips his penis clean off. Really? No flippity flirpin' floopin' from Swedish Chef? other guests are rudely awakened in the middle of the night to see the sounds of Miss Piggy oinking his current bathtub up against the hotel's ice machine. As Ernie ranted on about how Jules controlled the entertainment industry, Bert could only clench his fists and concentrate on his breathing. He knew they were fired. Now it was only a question of Ernie would stop before he said something that would get him killed. As Ernie's rant veered onto the subject of underage girls that want to come party, Bert realized they were screwed. He had my Hanukkah parties, hopefully. Despite Ernie's insistence, Bert refuses to help him. Bert hasn't had enough of the slave trade. Apparently, Africa hasn't. Ernie laughs cruelly as he gives Bert a buzz cut to purposely trigger his Vietnam PTSD. Ah, the memories. Bert on the edge. The drug had worked better than expected, rendering their victim paralyzed but alert. Bert stared intently into the victim's terrified eyes while Ernie cackled with sadistic glee. Ernie mistakes a church picnic for a Renaissance fair. Not wanting to break character, Ernie clouts the men with his flail for embracing Christian humanism and proceeds to turn his lance on their women. Survivors! Survivors? Oh, sweet baby Jesus, you crack me up, Elmo. Of course there aren't any survivors. Here's a newsflash, little buddy. Fire is hot. Elmo finds out his family didn't make it. Why is the firefighter a redneck? The cow didn't get the memo that having a cool hairdo doesn't mean he can say the N-word as he pleases. Bert was enjoying his Saturday evening reading Mein Kampf when suddenly Ernie sat next to him and began reciting the book word for word and from memory in fluent German. Bert felt kind of embarrassed as Ernie finished the eulogy by sniffing one of his deceased mother's panties. Ernie is a man of love and affection. Ooh. No, no, no. Bert and Ernie finally come to terms with the fact that no matter how much they amuse him, not even how not even social services want Bort. Their only resource is to bake the potato. I know it's going to be funny as hell, but you can't laugh when they open the casket and see their son is missing. They'll know it was us. Ha 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 ha. Oh crap. I'm freaking tired of mom coming in my room. Bert and Ernie undercut the current apple market value, forcing their competitors' families into poverty. Ernie listens to Bert's heartbeat closely as he slowly passes from a peanut allergy with black market kidneys worth $262,000 each, livers $557,000, and hearts worth up to $1 million. He must harvest Bert's organs quickly so they are fresh as possible. Organic donor. A liver is much closer to 120,000. Oh crap. Okay. Ernie planned this trip a month in advance. She knew that today the group of Asian tourists would visit the local botanical garden. She knew he could trigger Bert's Vietnam flashbacks this way. Bert didn't even notice the loaded M16 right in the bush next to them. Finally, a war reenacted Ernie would enjoy. Charlie's in the tree again. Cookie Monster, Cook, Cookie Monster screams in horror as Elmo's trip on bath salts take a turn for the worse. I got my paperwork, Bert. This means I'm finally a certified professional. That's not what being a registered sex offender means, Ernie. Ernie considers ejaculating into the ashes of Bert's dead mother. It won't be the worst thing he has done. We're listening to your roommate masturbate and start hearing farm animals. Okay. Hey, Bert, want some ice cream? Nah, I'm good. Are you sure, Bert? Big Bird off the freaking bird. Bert and Ernie get an anonymous note indicating that the neighbors don't mind them watching World War II documentaries. It's just no amount of cheering and swearing will change the outcome. While camping, Ernie finds Bert living in the woods. After years of being separated, the only thing Bert does is offer Ernie some kick-ass shrooms and a chance to pray to the mothership. Deeply grieved over the sudden loss of his friend and lover, Bert purchases a large drum in Ernie's honor so that he can still prank the crap out of something. Hey, yo, what the hell, Bert, oh boy. He, he always was the sentimental type. Okay. Bert despairs as he learns of the Allied plan to divide Nazi Germany. Bert is amazed at the accuracy and authenticity of Ernie's homemade KKK outfit. Little did the other dinner guests know, Bert and Ernie came to the party armed with AK-47s. Bert eagerly listens to Ernie's adventurous tale that consisted of hamsters, racial slurs, several Amazonian prostitutes, and his visit to a doctor. Ernie chuckles to himself as he pictures Bert drinking this, thinking it's milk. As he waits for the motorcade of Archduke Franz Ferdinand to round the corner, Bert prepares to change the course of human history forever. Bert howls as the apartment's poltergeist suddenly and without warning prolapses Bert's anus. Sounds fun. After picking up his strange black book after school and speaking to one of his newest hallucinations, Ernie had decided that he would be one to slowly purge the world of evil once and at a time. Well, it wasn't God being known as Kira to the public would have to suffice for now. Wow, Elmo, isn't it exciting that we're thinking of the first people this tribe has seen in years? Said Murray.
Yeah, Marie, the first and the last!
Screamed Elmo as he loaded his gun and prepared to take the land for the British Empire. I loved Unaged Sesame Street. Ernie couldn't contain his excitement. The severed foot of a diabetic amputee he ordered off the dark web had finally arrived him and in mint condition. Sweet feet! Big Bird took a moment to embrace the beauty of another country before pushing a child off the Great Wall of China. Ernie enjoys finding new ways to trigger Bert's Vietnam flashbacks. I did not put that there. Oh, now I get it. Bert and Ernie explain how two things called the same thing are different. I know the sarcophagus says that opening it will unleash 1,000 plagues upon the earth. But we're not in ancient Egypt, Bert. It's 2020 and no one believes that kind of stuff anymore. Lucy immediately regretted using Tinder to find a date. After cloning herself, Zoe finally realizes why nobody seems to like her. Rocco is why. Bert is suddenly awakened from his dream about conquering Germany when he hears Ernie furiously stroking his through to the rhythm of sicko mode. The doctor informs Ernie that his testicle cannot be reattached. What do you get when you mix peanut butter with baked beans? A fart that sticks to the roof of your ass? Bert didn't know whether he was more impressed by the fact that Ernie had caught someone using a frickin' banana or the fact that the Pentagon carried out the drone strike he ordered. Nothing like slipping some roofies in Bert's hot chocolate to make Ernie go full Bill Cosby on his yellow butt. Christmas is Bert and Ernie's favorite time of year because they can disguise their cocaine packages as Christmas presents and no one will question them. The, the hallucinogenic mushrooms empower Bert and Ernie with ultimate wisdom and understanding of the universe. Bert and Ernie realize that going to a fancy dress party in New York dressed as the Taliban could be seen as insensitive. Ernie reflects on all the pimps he had to slay in order to amass so much swag. After Bert says, "Oh yeah? Prove it," Ernie proceeds to demonstrate that he can indeed maintain perfect eye contact over the course of a 45-minute blowjob. Bert tricks a trick into doing a trick. Elwood becomes increasingly more worried as the furries start to form a circle around him. Kermit demonstrates how he deals with pupils who question his leadership. Once Oscar's scream stops, he proceeds with the meeting. Me tries to download porn with church Wi-Fi. Insufficient storage. Please delete some items. Me deletes Bible app. Satan. Can't wait to meet this guy. Ernie begins to make a pentagram to teach Bert how to summon the Dark Lord and show him the ways of the black metal. Bert eagerly awaits for Ernie's fist to reach his colon. After surviving the explosion of his meth lab, Big Bert threatens the neighbors they saw nothing. C is for cancelled. Fuzzy, I'm going to count to 3. If you haven't removed your hand from my shoulder by the time I'm done, these pens are going so far up your ass that you'll be singing poetry for a week. Bert wants to know who broke his swastika. Bert's surprised and scared when he sees the kind of porn that Ernie's reading. Ernie shells free just on Bert's mother's deathbed. The meth lab is burning down and the cop sirens are getting closer. Emma shanks his assistant in the spleen and escapes to the sewers below. It was against her. And Miss Piggy told Kermit to go screw himself. This isn't quite what he had in mind. What she had in mind. Cookie Monster finds that, in fact, he did not hit a speed bump. He also learns the reasons behind the slow speed limit in school zones. It was at this moment Telly realized just how potent the cookies he just ate as he started smelling colors. Just as they were about to begin auctioning off the kidnapped children, Bert and Ernie suddenly noticed the FBI helicopter circling overhead. The burning feeling in his eyes led Bert to believe that the eclipse viewing glasses Ernie bought him were counterfeit. Elmo watches in horror as the two Carolina gangsters send Cookie Monster down the meat grinder for not telling them where the um $5 million worth of drugs were hidden. Kermit realizes he's a failure as a reporter when his editor assigns him to the story about the horse that preaches about the wonders of Scientology. Kermit shows off the severed head of Grover in order to strike fear into the souls of Americans. This woman saw a lion in a freaking train station, and her first instinct was to beat the living hell out of it. Remember when Bugs Bunny freaking shot someone because he wouldn't stop coughing? The Count and Emma are disgusted by the flamboyantly homosexual skeleton. Look at me, Ernie, moaned Bert. I'm the boy in the striped pajamas. So why don't you just jump into the sexy uniform of yours and destroy me like the little undermensch I am? Is that moment Ernie felt the South rise up again in his pants? It had been a while since Tully auditioned for a Western role. He wondered why the film was called Brokeback Mountain, though. Maybe it's about the gold rush? You motherfuckers can all drown! Shouts Oscar as his only home begins to float in the historic flood thanks to his years of garbage buildup effectively waterproofing his can. Noah, get the ark. Ernie smiles maniacally as he begins to strangle a duckling while he points towards r/burst users who will share the same fate. Emma discovers that being a stay-at-home mom involves a lot more cleaning and a lot less wine drinking than he anticipated, and decides to transition back to being a man. There's a little joy. Thank you for being so brave and sharing your story with me. Now tell me exactly where Mr. Crosby inserted himself. Looks like he might have a lot of sharp internal parts, and Big Bird doesn't need a second circumcision. R2, me too. That was gonna be wholesome with him calling the cops. Halfway through the first cuties dance montage, Ernie and Bert unicum so hard that their dicks break. Nutflex. Ernie and Bert are overcome with emotion as they engage in their annual Christmas tradition of sneaking into homes and filling the stockings of children. They had to spend the whole year saving their shite in jars to have enough to go around. But the magic of the night. God bless us, everyone! After recreating the sex scene from Brokeback Mountain for the 17th time, the guys realized that Celebrity Cowboy wasn't a movie lover. He was a porno maker. Crashed again. Hey, Bertar, Earth think it's strange that male dinosaurs start mating with other male dinosaurs ever since pterodactyls spray strange mist across the sky. Erg think village shaman is behind it. Bertar think of nothing. Bertar think Erg listens too much of Alex Bones' ooga boogas. Bertar only think of ways to meta bait people using this format and then make edgy self inserts for that sweet, sweet internet karma. Big Bird would demonstrate what happens to slaves that try to run away. He was amazed that U/Specialist Snowflake was able to catch him so fast, but he was pretty sure that he didn't reek of semen before he ran away. He screws my wage, I screw his slave, just like back in the days at Just Freeze Island. Alright, alright! When does mom learn to shut up when I'm streaming?